Dear students of class 6, today I am going to teach you chapter number 9 from the book The Story of Sister Nivedita. Chapter number 9, The End. Broken health. Now and again Nivedita fell ill. The climate of the country, her austere habits, and above all hard work told upon her health. In 1905, she was very seriously ill. In 1906, a flood and a famine occurred in East Bengal. The people suffered terribly, and in those days there were few people who thought of organizing help for them. Nivedita was the most active helper. As soon as she heard about the distress of the people, she left Calcutta and went to Borishal. There she went on foot from one village to another, wading for miles through knee-deep water. She met the poor and suffering people. She gave them material help and consoled them in their bereavements. No difficulty could prevent her from doing this good work. It was during these days that she came to know the terrible poverty of the villagers. She also discovered how calm and patient they were in their suffering. She had always had a special love for the poor. Now she loved and admired them more than ever. But the strain of the work was too much for her. She had an attack of malaria of a very severe kind. She bore her illness patiently and gradually she recovered, but her health was never the same again. For the rest of her life she suffered from some tropical malady or other. Premonition. So many people whom Nivedita loved died one after the other. She felt very sad and depressed. She hoped that till she died she would continue to be of help to India and thus carry on the wishes of her master, who had said, "For the next 50 years this alone shall be our keynote, this our great Mother India. Let all other vain gods disappear for that time from our minds. This is the only God that is awake, our own race. Everywhere his hands, everywhere his feet, everywhere his ears. He covers everything. When we have worshipped this, we shall be able to worship all other gods." Chairo was a well-known Greek palmist. He had met Nivedita once and had told her that she would die between her 42nd and 44th year. She remembered this, and in 1904 she wrote to a friend, "I am now 36. I fancy I shall die in 1912. In September 1910 she wrote, "My wonderful 12 years is drawing to a close, and I feel that in November, when the mintos go, I shall enter a very dark period. I have still 2 years left, but no more. In November 1910, she again went to America. Her friend Mrs. Bull was very ill and she died in January 1911. Nivedita went to England and in March went on to Paris. In April, she returned to India. In the summer holidays, she went to Mayavati with the Boses. They planned to go to Darjeeling for the Puja holidays in October. As the time to go drew nearer, Nivedita felt more and more that she was leaving Calcutta for good. She went to meet all the people she knew. It was as if she was bidding them goodbye. Her beloved mother was then away in her village home, but she went to her house in Bagh Bazar and took leave of the elderly monks of the order. She particularly loved and revered a very holy lady who stayed in mother's house. Her name was Jogin Ma. To this holy lady she bowed down low and whispered, Joginma, I feel I shall not return. Why do you say so, Nivedita? Yoginma anxiously asked. I do not know. I feel so somehow. This is the end. Joginma asked her not to harbor such thoughts and changed the topic of conversation, but she could not help feeling worried about her last journey. Nivedita went with the Boses to Darjeeling. They stayed at Ray Villa. The first few days were spent quietly and restfully. Then they planned to go to a distant high peak called Sandakfu. But on the day when they were to have started, Nivedita had an attack of blood dysentery. Well-known doctors were sent for and all possible medical aid was given to her, but it was in vain. She knew she was going to die. Her hosts felt very anxious, but she always talked to them bravely and smiled brightly. On October 7, she made her last will. She left all her possessions and writings in the hands of the trustees of the Belur Moth to be used for her school to give national education to the women of the country. She liked a Buddhist prayer of universal love and peace, and she had it read to her. Death was approaching, and her mind was entering into deep meditation. She often intoned her favorite Rudra prayer from the Upanishads. From the unreal, lead us to the real. From darkness, lead us to light. From death, lead us to immortality. During those days at Darjeeling, it was always cloudy. The sun was hardly seen, but on the morning of October 13, at about 7, the sun suddenly shone brightly. Nivedita said, the frail boat is sinking, but I shall yet see the sun rise. And then she died. In the small town of Darjeeling, the news of her death spread rapidly. Many prominent people who were there hurried to Ray Villa to pay their homage to this noble woman. They all joined the funeral procession. The people in the marketplace stood with their heads bowed low as the procession passed and went on to the Hindu cremation ground. There, her body was cremated. The daughter of Mother India went to sleep in her lap for eternity. Now, the questions from this chapter you should prepare are: what did tell upon Nivedita's health? When was she very seriously ill? When did a flood and a famine occur in East Bengal? What happened then? Who was the most active helper? How did Nivedita help the people of East Bengal in the flood and famine occurred in 1906? What did she discover in the villagers this time? For whom had she always had a special love? Which disease attacked her this time? How did she bear this illness? How was her health after this illness? Why did Nivedita feel very sad and depressed? What did she hope? Of which god did her master tell her to worship? Who was a well-known Greek palmist? What did he tell Nivedita? When and what did Nivedita write about it to her friend? When did the Mintos go? Why did Nivedita go to America again in November 1910? When did Mrs. Bull die? Where did Nivedita go then? When did she return to India? When and where did Nivedita go with the bosses? What did they plan for the puja holiday? How did Nivedita feel as the time to go drew nearer? Where was the Holy Mother when Nivedita was leaving Calcutta? Whom did Nivedita take leave in the mother's house? Who was the holy lady in mother's house whom Nivedita particularly loved and revered? What did Nivedita tell Joginma? What did Joginma say? Why could Joginma not help feeling worried about her? Where did Nivedita stay in Darjeeling? Where did they plan to go from Darjeeling? What happened on the day when they were to have started? How did Nivedita talk when her hosts felt very anxious? When did Nivedita make her last will? Whom and where did she leave all her possessions and writings, and for which purpose? Which prayers did Nivedita read or intone when death was approaching? When did Nivedita die? How was the weather of Darjeeling during those days? How was the weather at the time of Nivedita's death? What was Nivedita's last words? What happened when the news of Nivedita's death spread in the small town of Darjeeling? What did the people in the marketplace do when the procession passed? Where did the procession go? What was done with her body? Okay, that's all for today. Thank you.